just keep that in mind. I spoke on temptation long enough. Only because this video I'm not trying to make super long, and it is extremely important. Avoid temptation, y'all. I shouldn't say avoid it. Avoid the trap of temptation. You are going to be tempted, and with that temptation, it is going to lay a trap, and you're gonna, open the door. Oh, it looks nice. Oh, it looks nice. I like this. Like, oh, this might be helpful, or not helpful. This might be exactly what I want. Yeah, that is the case, and that's the trap, bro. The trap is gonna give you everything that you want, and it's your job to avoid that thing, or it's your job to get out. And you might think it's too late, and you might not, you might think it's too late. Let me just say, it's not too late, man. Give yourself some grace. Just know, just know it's hard. And if you definitely didn't have a father, someone demonstrating faithfulness to you, then you gotta kind of learn that on your own. And that's not easy. That's not easy to do. So give yourself some grace, man. But avoid the trap, the temptation, man. It's hard. I get it. I definitely get it. But what's worth your family? What's worth your business? What's worth any and everything that you put in work for? Absolutely nothing. And if you had a great man to kind of teach you those things, they would let you know, or they would tell you, or they would be the example to say, hey, this ain't worth it. But we didn't have those things. Who said you can't use gaming to encourage people? Who said you can't use gaming to teach people the ways? Not me. Welcome to the new episode of Gems and Gaming. Get ready as we log in to share some life wisdom and put you on game. Let's get it. Yo, what's going on, y'all? So today's Gems and Gaming, I'm gonna try to be a lot more structured than I usually am. But this topic really comes from the heart. I can't really stress enough how important it is, only because I lived through it. I'm 33 years old in my head, still relatively a young man, but old enough to say I've been around the block. I made a lot of mistakes, and I did a lot of good things too. And I had to learn how to live in this life growing up in a fatherless home, coming from a generation of fatherless children who came from another generation of fatherless children. So we're here to break the cycle, man. So that's why today I want to talk about the 10 things that I feel like you should know as a fatherless child. Things that I wish I knew. If I had to tell my younger self some of these things, this is what I would say. These are the things that I wish I would wish that I knew back in the day. But yeah, man, let's get to it. I got another screen on the side just to help me kind of stay focused and talk about the things that I want to discuss. So each lesson is going to be more important than the last. But that first lesson, the first thing I had to figure out for sure as a fatherless child is you got to control your ego, bro. You have to. And that's very difficult. I know. But it goes way beyond something as simple as somebody said something crazy to you, and now you got to show them who you are. Now, like, when you come from a family where really only one person has a heavy influence on your development, which would be your mother, since we're talking about fatherless children, since it would be your mom, whenever someone else tries to, tell you something or give you instruction, at least the case for me was, it's extremely difficult to take serious, or it's extremely difficult to, bro, we just got wrecked. It's extremely difficult to accept someone else's critiques or suggestions, just because it's like, yo, only one person I know wakes up every day to make sure that I am the best version of myself, and it's not easy for that person. it's not easy for that individual. And if you don't know, or if you haven't put in the work, then I'm not really trying to hear what you have to say. That's how I feel about certain things. But that's not necessarily right. Like, that's not good for me. That's not good for my development, because I'm only focused on one person's advice or one person's thoughts, where that person, the individual, is not a man, and also didn't have the greatest of examples. So it'd be even hard for that person to give me certain advice and certain, during certain, about certain topics. I say it like that. So if that's the case, when we're used and accustomed to learning from one person, and that one person is someone who's just a little different than, or different than we are, because my mom's not a man, obviously. So, certain life lessons about being a man, is something that I have to learn, on my own, and not really something that, my mother can teach me easily, or teach me at all, really. So, this man smoked us. So I didn't really listen to many people. I definitely didn't listen to men. Very, very rarely would I be tempted to listen to men. And also, I realized I would be hesitant about listening to women. Maybe it was a certain type of woman that I prefer to be around or speak to. Maybe, maybe they would have to be women that remind me of home. Women that makes me feel, he just tried the ult. Women that make me feel comfortable. Women that, I guess, man, we're getting smoked. Yeah, we're getting smoked. Women that I just suppose that, just reminded me of home. And that becomes egotistical. Saying that you can't learn anything from someone who's not, of the same, I don't know what am I trying to say? Someone who's not of the same, like, social status or have the same understanding. Just because they don't doesn't mean they can't teach you anything. And that's what I mean by letting your ego go. Just because someone teaches you something or says something to you and you feel like, oh, you don't know where I'm coming from, or you don't know what I had to been through, what I had to go through. I get it, man, but that's ego, and that's something I had to learn. That's something I am still learning. I've ruined a lot of relationships being egotistical, and I'm sure you did too, if you're listening, right? Like, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm sure you know exactly what I mean. So that's the first thing, man. We gotta learn how to control our ego. Because pride will replace wisdom if you let it. Okay? That's number one. The second lesson I wish that I knew. Oh my goodness. The second lesson that I wish that I knew. Come on. Nice. Forgive me, I'm a little busy, but the second lesson is. Oh man. She's cooked. Overcooked. Discipline is freedom, bro. Discipline is freedom. Like, that's just the realest thing that I can tell you. Discipline is freedom. You have to have discipline. Now, I don't know if this is the case for every father, if for those men that were raised with their father, if they taught you about hard work or anything like that. I didn't necessarily like learn discipline from instruction or anything like that. I just wanted to change my life. Or I learned discipline through athletes. Ironically enough, I learned discipline through athletes, like just watching how hard they work on certain things. Just lessons that they've shared from talking about their workouts, like Kobe Bryant, LeBron, Steph Curry. You know, I learned discipline through watching other men that who had lifestyles that I wanted or that I respected. You know, for example, like Eric Thomas, the motivational speaker. I like how he talks and I like how he speaks, and I like what he says because whatever he is saying, I truly believe he lives that lifestyle. Like for me, I can put you on game and teach you a lot of good stuff, but I'm not consistent as much as I should be, or as the greatest man, which is what I want to be, right? Like the greatest man or one of the greatest men. I'm not like the most consistent individual. And if I'm not consistent, or if I don't work hard to make sure that I am consistent, then I am going to I'm gonna ruin my life basically. Like I said, discipline is freedom. You know, the life you live in this earth shows it's really all about how much work you put in. And that's the truth. And I'm not talking like, oh, I'm working 9 to 5 like constantly or whatever the case is. You know, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, you know, the work that you put in will be reflected in your life. I'm not talking about your salary. I'm talking about just your discipline. Discipline is freedom. If you're not living the life that you want to live, just evaluate your discipline. Evaluate your discipline. I have some examples, especially that I'm thinking of, that's going to be very important to discuss. But let me just say pitch play. You know, pitch play is the business that I have right now, right? Everything that I do with pitch play, since I'm an entrepreneur and since I started the business, everything that I do for pitch play is reflected immediately in that business. So, and anytime I meet someone else, they're more impressed with the business only because they're meeting me in a moment or a season of my life where I've been able to progress, you know, or I should say, like, you know, I'm actually able to show all of my development because you see it in my business. If I was lazy with it, if I just gamed all day, every day, if I never worked on my speeches, if I never worked on coaching, if I never worked at being better, then I would just stay stagnant. It would never really grow. No one would ever really see me. I have to have the discipline to make sure I get better. Not just in business, but also, also in life. Like relationships. I'm married. So you already know I got some lessons about being a husband coming up in here. You know, I definitely got that coming. Yeah, back up, buddy. Yeah, I definitely got some lessons about some marriage lessons for you young men out here that would like to learn or lessons that I had to learn being a husband. You know, definitely not easy. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it a buck with you. I had to learn a lot. You know, I had to learn a lot and still am learning a lot, if I'm being honest with you. But you gotta have the discipline, man. You gotta have the discipline in everything that you do. Every single lesson that you learn, make sure you are applying it in your life. And you know what makes things easier? Because I'm telling you, I had to learn a lot of these things. What makes things easier is is the third lesson. Find mentors instead of just friends. Find people that you can learn from. You know, people that's willing to help guide and correct you in certain moments. You know, it's always good to have those day one friends that's just going to be honest with you, you know, and just be like, hey, Tyreek, you tripping. Or, hey, Kingcayne, you tripping, man. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. You know, those are great to have real friends that kind of put you on game and kind of tell you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Consider that a mentor. That's a mentor if you think about it, right? Like, they're trying to mentor you on lessons that you should learn. You always want to be around those type of people. You never just want to be around people that's going to be like, keep doing what you're doing, or forget what they got to say, like, you right. No. You don't want yes men around you. You want people that's 100% going to put you on game and tell you exactly what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Bro. Um, choose mentors, not just friends, man. Definitely, definitely. I say, I'm talking to fatherless children, fatherless sons. I suppose is what I really am focused on. I suppose it's a good idea for you to find men that you respect. Just listen to them. Just be honest with them. Have honest conversations. It was really, really difficult for me to talk to older men and hear them have locker room talk, because my mentality of a man that I respect is always talking about wisdom, knowledge, or growth and development. But one thing I've learned just from being around men, you can have those thoughts and you can have locker room talk too. It's just a part of the human experience. You just have to have the discernment to know if this person is trying to. This man said no to me. What do you want? You want mercy? What you want? You want mercy? I can't hear what they're saying, so if they're talking to me, then I have no idea what's being said. But yeah, definitely find those. Definitely have the discernment to just see, is this man that is saying things that maybe I'm not super comfortable with? Is he saying things maliciously to make me a worse version of myself? Or is he saying things simply because that's just, they're just being honest. They're just being real. And I'm just not used to honesty. That's another thing. We're not used to honesty. We're not used to certain... We're just not used to... Oh my goodness, bro. We're just not used to certain things, in our life. So... Alright, I'm about to... This is the, second game we played? Third game? Where my team is just been getting destroyed immediately. It's like... This is difficult. So, I mean, I suppose you're getting the point. Have the discernment to see if the men around your life are mentors or they're just friendly men. They're just men for fun. Just teaching you how to have fun in life, not really teaching you how to, develop, right? And life is life. Life's a lesson. Like you're gonna learn who's for you and who's not, just from living life. So give yourself some grace and allow yourself to live. Fourthly, the fourth lesson that we're going to talk about is mastering your emotions before they master you. What are you doing, bro? Come back, bro. Let's not talk about anything physical, right? Let's not talk about this person disrespected me, so I'm about to I'm about to F them up, bro. Let's not talk about fighting. Let's not discuss that. Let's discuss something as simple as sadness, things that we really don't, I suppose men really don't consider as manly traits. You are going to have emotions. It's a part of life. So, be okay with that. But master those emotions. Like when you are sad and you feel sad, bro. Don't feel bad because you're feeling an emotion. Don't feel bad because you're, I don't know, just because you're being human, it's okay, bro. That's totally okay. Master those emotions. Okay, this is when I'm supposed to feel sad, and this is when I'm gonna feel sad, and this is when I'm going to, feel this way, feel that way. It's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel emotions. Anger, especially, that's okay, bro. That's normal, right? When I hoop, when I play ball, I cannot stand people talking trash to me. I'm not gonna hold you, especially if I'm having a bad game or whatever. I'd be mad as heck. I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. And then obviously people know that they're like, all right, this is the perfect time to get in his head And now you know I'm mad, right? And I'm thinking because someone made me mad, I have to act on that emotion. No. You just use that emotion differently. Like use that emotion to your advantage. You know, emotion matters, and we all have them. We all have them, man. All of us. It's not one person that doesn't, and it's women too. Women too. And you know, I hear, oh, women are more emotional than men. I don't think they have any more emotions than we do. I think they're also going through the human experience. So accept that simple fact and be cool with that, right? Like, you know, it's a part of life. And there's really nothing you can do about it. So accept that simple fact that you have emotions. Master them before they master you. Understand how you feel in every single scenario. Like, think on it, sleep on it, feel it, but make sure you feel it, make sure you deal with it, and then just think on it. Because you felt that emotion for a reason, right? It's tied to how you think, or it's tied to who you are, or it's tied to your story. Don't just be upset or sad or whatever emotion you're feeling and just go, you know, or just dismiss it. Don't be dismissive of it, because then your emotions are going to control you because you never took any time to control them. All right, so that's 4. So look, we got 4 good lessons right now. What's the first one? The first one is control your ego. The second one, understand that discipline is freedom. The third one is choose mentors, not just friends. And the fourth one that we just discussed is master your emotions before they master you. Already. Oh, that's crazy. All right, so we're feeling good. We got some good lessons going on. You know, these are things I had to. Life is going to teach you a lot of these things. Like wisdom is cool. Wisdom is cool to listen to from someone else who experienced those things, but experience is really going to be your greatest teacher, like it was for me, like it is for me. So you know, don't feel any type of way about not knowing something at all. It's a part of life. You're gonna learn these things, all right? But number 5, for sure, is the most important lesson that I cannot stress to you how important this is. Number 5, but yeah, we're gonna get up out of here. All right, bad start. Let's try to help the team out a little bit. So we're good with the 4 lessons that we just learned. It's understandable. Now that 5th lesson is so important, man. That 5th lesson is a new level of if you don't you know, heed this warning. It's a new level of discipline, or not discipline. I think the word that I'm trying to use is, you know, precautions, or oh snap, oh my goodness, or cook, man. Yeah, yeah, they got that. That was smooth. Yeah, Farah and Tracer is going to be so difficult for. Hanzo and Tracer, my 2 DPS, are going to be so difficult to deal with this particular lineup. And I don't know if I even have the best support character for these 2, but we'll try. Yeah, she's cooked. Yeah, it's not looking good for her. Whew. So, number 5. It's been it's been a delay since me talking about number 5. So number 5 is avoid the trap of temptation, bro. Man, temptation is everywhere. It's everywhere, and it's where you would least expect it. I'm gonna tell y'all a quote, man. What are you doing, bro? She's cooked. Yeah, she deserved that. Yeah, this is a L. Avoid the trap, the temptation. The devil will give you, or maybe even God, just to test you, but the devil will give you everything that you think that you want, just to see how you handle that situation. Money, fame, and women. Listen, men. I live in America too. I know how much pornography is out there. I know more than anybody how easily they filter it through our social media, how easily they filter it through pretty much any and everything that we just like see. It's promoted everywhere in our music. Man, I get it. You know, I get it more than anybody that temptation is out there. That's not necessarily the thing that's the hardest focus. The hardest focus, in my personal opinion, is once that temptation that's been in your head, you know, once that temptation that's been in your head starts to kind of creep into your heart, that's where you should fight the most. Because once you want a thing, like once you want that, you know, temptation, that's when the devil's like, all right, bet. Send in the girl. Send in the girl, see how he react. And it's happened. I think it happens to every man, but it definitely happens to husbands for sure. When you're not married, like, you're kind of just out there in the field, right? So, you know, whatever you do behind closed doors with someone who isn't your wife, I mean, they're not your wife. So you should expect it to probably have some type of repercussions or not be the scenario that you wish that it was. I mean, if you're not expecting that, then I'm sorry, but, you know, if you're not aiming to be with that lady, be with that woman, be with that person for life, then I'm gonna tell you, sex, that's the biggest blessing that you can have with a person. Like, shared gift, shared blessing that you can have with a person. And you want that person to be your wife, because if they're not, they can do anything that they want to you. You know, the power of the P, as my sister say, she said the P is powerful. The P is powerful. Now, sure, men, the D is powerful too, but we're not worried about using our power or abusing our power, man. We're worried about controlling it, you know. Some of these young ladies, they go through the same thing with fatherless homes. You know, they're not necessarily seeing, you know, respectful men all the time. You know, unfortunately, they're around nothing but disrespectful men or women that just see them as sex toys, as sex tools, and they think, okay, if that's my power, then I'm gonna use this. Now, if you're a married man and you bring, you know, something different than the dating pool, which is stability, they're gonna want that stability for themselves, or they're gonna want to know, like, dang, okay, I got somebody that's stable. I want that stability. That's what, you know, that's what, man, bro, every DPS squad I've been on is not attacking the other DPS, man. Like, this is crazy. And I'm not saying that's the case for all fatherless women. You know, I'm not a woman, right? My sister, what are you? My sister definitely, you know, has more thoughts, or, you know, way more experience dealing with being a fatherless daughter. So I can't really give lessons to women about you know, how to control yourself or have discipline. You know, I can just say to you the same thing that I would say to men, is that discipline is freedom, man. You gotta learn how to control your emotions. You have to. It's just plain and simple. Like, I see it. I don't, like I said, I was talking about pride earlier. You know, I don't just see it like on. No sir. Yeah, she's good. You know, I don't just see it on like temptation in terms of sex. You know, I'm talking a lot about it, but money, power, fame, man, the devil will tempt you with all those things just to see how let me just see how he react. You know, I've always been a man, at least that I think, I want to be a man that makes people proud. Women, men, like I want people to look at me and be like, "Yo, he did it the right way, bro," and I respect that. You know, that's the type of life I want to live. That's the type of life that I think I live. I'm not necessarily saying that's always the case. I have a lot of growing to do. I have a lot of growing to do. I'm still growing. I'm still growing. But you gotta learn how to control. You gotta have, as my sister would say, you gotta have the control. I'm a mute it because I do expect kids to be listening to me, but you gotta have control, bro. You gotta control it. You gotta control it, man. Be careful. Be careful. And I'm the type, especially just because I've never really. My primary focus has never really been women or sleeping around at all. But when you're married, I'm telling you, man, the temptation comes left and right. People want what you got, or they want what your wife has. You know what I mean? They want what your wife has. So, oh my God. Like, please, bro, what is going on? So, you know, just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind, man. People want what your wife has, and they'll do anything to. They'll just test it, not do anything to have it. They'll just see if they can have what your wife has, right? And you just gotta be mindful of that. And I know what I'm saying is easy to understand, but once you're in that situation, you'll get it just a little bit more, man. You'll get it just a little bit more. Yeah, this is frustrating. This is so frustrating. I mean, I think this might be a L. I mean, it's 2-2, but still, it's frustrating. I didn't speak as much as I wanted to about women, but you guys get the point. And it's not all women. And also another thing, I should say this before I go to the next. Just because it is, temptation is there. Yeah, we're cooked. Man, them boys do not want. Please. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, they refused to get Genji, bro. And then she's spamming, I need heals. I'm sorry, ass, but you're trash. But anyway, I got distracted. Stop going forward. Are you stupid? Are you stupid? It's not just that the devil will give it to you to see how you deal with it. Sometimes you got to evaluate yourself and go, do I want this? All right, that's temptation. You can't be tempted with things you don't want. So if you see that temptation now in your life or whatever that looks like, money, fame, whatever, ask yourself if that's what you want. If that's what you want, really, you just. This is crazy. I mean, they're saying it's not enough heals for honor, bro. We're getting flanked so hard. Yeah, it's a L. Just keep that in mind. I spoke on temptation long enough. Only because this video I'm not trying to make super long, and it is extremely important. Avoid temptation, y'all. I shouldn't say avoid it. Avoid the trap of temptation. You are going to be tempted, and with that temptation, it is going to lay a trap, and you're gonna, open the door. Oh, it looks nice. Oh, it looks nice. I like this. Like, oh, this might be helpful, or not helpful. This might be exactly what I want. Yeah, that is the case, and that's the trap, bro. The trap is gonna give you everything that you want, and it's your job to avoid that thing, or it's your job to get out. And you might think it's too late, and you might not, you might think it's too late. Let me just say, it's not too late, man. Give yourself some grace. Just know, just know it's hard. And if you definitely didn't have a father, someone demonstrating faithfulness to you, then you gotta kind of learn that on your own. And that's not easy. That's not easy to do. So give yourself some grace, man. But avoid the trap, the temptation, man. It's hard. I get it. I definitely get it. But what's worth your family? What's worth your business? What's worth any and everything that you put in work for? Absolutely nothing. And if you had a great man to kind of teach you those things, they would let you know, or they would tell you, or they would be the example to say, hey, this ain't worth it. But we didn't have those things, and that's why I'm here to tell you, avoid the trap, the temptation. I can't tell you how many times I had to tell my wife she's my wife today, but girlfriend at the time, or fiance at the time, or even wife today, man, I'm sorry, but I ain't gonna lie. I opened the door. I was trying to see what was in the room. I almost took a step forward. I'm like, oh, this room kind of tempting. And I had to run out at the last moment. You don't even want to be in that position where you got to apologize. Well, you're going to if you make a mistake. And, tell your wife, tell your girlfriend, tell your fiance. If you're, in that relationship right now, you're trying to become a husband. Tell her these things, because I'm going to tell you something. If you had that father in your life, that one that you respected, hopefully he would have told your mother too. Hey, look, I screwed up. And talk to that about your mentors. We was talking about having mentors. Man, temptation, bro, it'll get you, bro. I'm telling you, it'll get you faster than anything in life. For real. And it's not just women, right? Like, I live in America. Y'all know it's a huge gay population in America. Or not huge, it's very relatively small, but I mean, compared to other places, we promote it 24/7. So lust, temptation, it's not just, it's everywhere. You got to be careful. You got to be very, very careful. Avoid the trap, the temptation. The devil will give you anything that you want just to see what you do with it. Or maybe God, he'll probably use the devil to send things your way, or God will send things your way. Either way, the only thing you're in control of is you. And that brings us to number 6. You got to learn how to fight, and you got to learn when not to fight. I'm not saying you got to learn how to throw hands. I'm not saying you got to learn how to shoot a gun. I'm not saying you got to learn how to be a physical warrior. That is not at all what I am suggesting. I'm saying in this world, it's plenty of different battles. Plenty. And it's not necessarily like just, fighting somebody over a basketball game, which I've tried to do a million times because of my ego. Because I don't like people saying anything. You got to learn how to fight politically, in your business. That's typically where you'll see political work, mostly in business. You got to learn how to fight. Let's see here. You got to learn how to fight physically, spiritually. I mean, we talking about the devil and what he'll tempt you with. Oh man, here we go. Let me see if I can just keep him. Just keep him a little. There we go. Oh man. Am I fighting the same Genji over and over? I always feel like I have been playing the Genji all day and been losing all day. There are plenty of fights that you're going to experience in life, and it is not necessarily going to be throwing hands or anything like that. Never forget that. It's not always like how you fight in life. It's not always going to be a fist fight, but life's going to be a fight. it is going to be a fight, bro. You are going to be in a fight in life, and you're going to have to learn how to fight, for sure, and you're going to have to learn when to fight. Unless you are a boxer, I would not suggest you fighting physically, unless it is a part of your profession. Unless you are unless you are a warrior, you know, unless you are, man, where's this man go? Yeah, this is about to be annoying. This is about to be so annoying. Man, learn how to fight, man. That's all I'm saying. And there's gonna be so many different kind of ways to do that. So many different kind of battles that you're gonna have to deal with. Oh man, what the heck? This is so frustrating, bro. This is so frustrating, bro. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Where? What? Why are you asking? I'm fighting. Oh, Reinhardt, help me. My goodness. Sorry, I got a little distracted again. But what? All right. So learning how to fight. You know, since this video is gonna be a little long, forgive me. I'm a little distracted, and today's lesson is super important. So let's just kind of speed it up because I'm not sure how much time I spent on this. But number 7, build your own family values. You weren't taught certain values, right? So you're gonna have to learn how to build those values yourself. You know, you're gonna have to learn how to build those values. Sorry, y'all, I'm getting mad distracted only because I'm trying to deal with this. Learn how to build your family values. What would you have wanted? What would you have wanted? Really? Am I the only person fighting? Come on, man. What would you have wanted your dad to teach you? Honest question. What is that life lesson that you wish your dad gave you? I mean, you know, once you figure that out, you can start to build your own family values. You know, and I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but you know, we were both in the same spot. I swear I thought Doomfist was on the left of me. But you know, what are those family values that you wish that you had as a child? Build those things. Build those things. Learn to build your own family values. Like I said, this video is becoming long and I'm starting to get distracted. So number 8, carry yourself like a king, even when you feel like a pawn, bro. Don't let anyone, and I mean don't let anyone, tell you you're not. Don't let anyone define you, man. Don't let anyone ever tell you how to feel, what to think, tell you that you're not good enough, none of that. You know, don't let that happen. because it's not true. Let me get up out of here. Let me get up out of here. It's not true. Whatever people say about you or they want to say about you, let them say it. You a king, bro. And never forget that. You know. And if you don't believe that, you need to learn how to. You know, I'm not saying your dad for sure would have taught you certain lessons. You know, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying he would have said, "Oh, son, you know you a king, right?" I ain't saying that's the case, but you need to learn how to and just pretend that you are. You should. You know, why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not? That's just kind of how I feel about the situation, you know. Pretend that you are one. I mean, that's really all I can say to you, bro. I can't really say anything else. But pretend that you are a king. Learn how to be one. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm getting distracted, so sorry. Learn how to build those family values. I kept asking myself, what type of man do I want to be? You know, what am I most proud of? Just as a man. Dang, I shouldn't have came in there. What am I most proud of? Not as a man, but what would I be most proud of in my father if he was in my life? I asked those questions to myself, and then I started to do those things, and that's exactly what I did. Cooked. This man cooked me. How did they even know I was coming here? That's crazy. Carry yourself like a king. Build your family values. Learn how to fight when not to, and avoid temptation. So I said 10. So that's what we're gonna do with 10. I don't necessarily think I'll have enough time to talk about the importance of this subject, and I think I want you to figure this out. BS Symmetra, I wonder what I did. Who said that? Hold on, y'all. I gotta see who I was frustrating, so I know that was the right call. BS Symmetra. Nobody on my team, right? Nah, who said that? Super Pill or whatever his name was. Oh, the tank. There you go, bro. Appreciate you. That mean I did my thing. I don't have enough time to discuss this thing, but get right with God. So you don't have your dad in your life. Read the Bible and study God. Let God replace the idea of what a good man, a great father is supposed to do for you. You don't need a dad to be scolded. You don't need a dad for so many things. You wanna know why? God, the Bible will convict you whether your dad does or not. The Bible will tell you exactly how to treat women, how to raise yourself as a gentleman, how to raise yourself as a respectful man. Listen, bro. I don't care what anyone says. No, God isn't real, nothing. Okay, find out for yourself. That's something I have to say to you. Find out for yourself. You don't believe in God? All right, cool. Just read the Bible and start walking in faith. And you find out yourself, is God real? Just see if what it said in the Bible speaks to you. See if what God says to do as a father, see if that speaks to you. You didn't have a dad to tell you if it was right or wrong anyway. So you need to trust and believe that there's something bigger than you. Because once you do, all those things that I told you, letting your ego go, learning how to not be falling for the trap to temptation, like all those things that I told you is something that I had to learn. And I'm gonna be real, when I learned those things, when I truly, and I mean truly believe in God, like believe that he was real, that's when my life started to make more sense. That's when I was able to walk away from all of those things that I said were bad for me and didn't really help me become the man of God that I thought I was being, or that I would want my dad to teach me. Man, just try it. And look, come back and tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong. Walk that way and come back and tell me if I'm wrong. Just try it. Trust me. I talk about God all the time. Watch any of my content. I'm just telling you what I know. I'm just telling you what I know. So just try it out. And then lastly, understand you are the author of your life. When you read the Bible and you see all those prophets and proverbs about men and women in situations, remember, you're currently in your own book right now. You're the story. You're the story. Well, God is the author of your life. Let me say it like that. But you're the only person in control of the character that you are. So what type of story you want to be told? You want to be the person that comes on, play games, and tell you real life, tell you things that you wish you knew as a kid? Or you want to be the person to play games with no end to it, just gaming, bro, just distracted forever, just going in a circle over and over and over again, not trying to get any better in life. I know you don't want that. I know you don't want that. And if that is what you want at the moment, I would say try new things out and just see if the newer things serve you, like all of the 9 other pieces of advice that I gave you will serve. I promise you. And I promise you, I think you will be very surprised, pleasantly, at the difference in your life. That's all. That's all I'm saying. And that's all I have to say. Alright, y'all. We got this game, man. Like I said, I was already getting distracted, but, I think what we have right now is perfect. Y'all take it easy. Remember, young men, you don't know what you don't know, and give yourself some grace for not being, you're not perfect. None of us are. You didn't have your dad, so you didn't know certain lessons, and neither did I. But I promise you on everything, just the fact that you clicked on this video, if you did click on it, or the fact that you watched this reel or the short or whatever I'm putting out, just the fact that you are starting, you get a lot of credit just for that, y'all. But y'all take it easy and God bless.